Alright, here we go. This is a ranked 2v2 on Thar between the Carbon team in the upper left. It is Lostcreep123 in the Shark Neo and Samuelman1 in the Alpha Striker. And their opponents in the blue team in the bottom right, it is Sitta in the Raptor Neo and... Oh, it's not the blue team. That is a Carbon team, isn't it? Oh, no, it's blue team. Sorry. It's just that this is the... this thumbnail right here tricked me. Sorry. Okay. Super tangent, but... It's not like it matters because people are still picking their loadouts, but it is Sitta in the Raptor Neo and Frank806 in the Pumpkin Saucer. I don't think I've ever seen Frank, actually, but there are a lot of newer players, relatively new compared to the length of time that I've been around, I guess, I guess I've never seen because it's just a new generation of players. I haven't been super involved in, you know, the community and talking and actually being in-game and stuff, so we will see. I mean, if this game was sent in by someone, I would assume that Frank is pretty decent at the very least, and is, you know, okay at positioning right now. Puts these two Gemini, you know, outside of the, well, not outside of the brute range, but almost outside of the brute range. But anyway, both teams going for, okay, Sitta already taking that top right. Carbon team now just neutralizing their left post, which is the lighter post, so it took a little bit longer than kind of normal. And now Sitta already working on the corner, whereas Frank going to try to get this bottom outpost, not even bottom right, bottom center outpost neutralized. And the Carbon team now working on theirs. But yeah, Sitta a little bit ahead of the curve here with 4 Longhorn able to knock down all the infantry there at the top right. And already Frank is working on the left on the island, on the left bottom left post. That's kind of crazy. So our Carbon team has taken what you would consider their side of their of the map, those posts there, but it does look like Sitta has already been able to take and fairly secure that top right outpost, considering how early game it is right now. But the Carbon team is, you know, able to thwart away the blue team force at the bottom left. Frank's Gemini were either pulled back or killed, but now it does look like Sitta's working on mid. So the blue team will have a 1 outpost advantage most likely, you know, and actually even starting on the mid fight. So the Carbon team still has not cleared this bottom left island. So they are right now definitely working on a disadvantage of credits at the very most, or at the very least, instead of trying to neutralize this top. But as that sneaky Neo not getting caught in the act flying there, but this will get caught by Lostcreep. So Frank gonna support that mid fight. Lost a Longhorn there, or a Gemini, whatever that was, but a mainline tank nonetheless. A couple of Gemini and Longhorn getting dropped by the blue team, and they will be fairly ahead. The Carbon team still has not taken this bottom left island under their control yet, where the blue team has now control of mid. Might not be able to hold it, but definitely has decent presence here, and they will be able to take it and grab it. I think the Carbon team does not look like they are pushing up to try to take it, or, you know, to contest the blue team here at middle. And a couple of butchers dropped by Sitta, and will be able to snipe a couple of tanks over here. Samuelman does manage to save that Gemini. Actually, that was 2 butchers and 2 jumpers, I think. But Frank with a good surround and control. Okay, Carbon team pushing in, so Lostcreep gonna push through the bridge, distracting with his Neo. Whereas Sitta is trying to neutralize and take this outpost, this left side, but only 3 infantry. But the Carbon team has cleared a lot of the blue units. There is no Carbon player over here. But Frank, does get finished off. Not quite quick enough to blink away. But Sitta will be able to take this left outpost under their control. Under blue control for now. Needs to start pulling units out to defend, because Carbon team has gotten a very great foothold of this middle outpost now, basically taking their entire army on the map and sending it right there. Blue team still has been able to hold this outpost for now, but, you know, all 4 mechs here to fight against it. Will the Carbon team start to use these units at all, or they will just let them sit? Okay, Lostcreep is pulling them back. Will Lostcreep be able to get this outpost neutralized? There are 4 brutes in those posts, nothing bunkered yet, but if they do start to bunker, that will become pretty much impossible. There are 2 brutes that are in Frank's queue, or at least Frank's cargo right now, but now the train of Carbon tanks is starting to roll in. They have been lightened a little bit. The Carbon team had a little bit more presence there just a little while ago, and Frank going to be splitting the fight, forcing Lostcreep to defend that island. But this is way too many tanks, and it will be neutralized pretty quickly. And there you go. The blue team is now at a 28 to 51 unit upkeep disadvantage. 21 units on the field versus 25, which is kind of crazy to see. But yeah, a lot more powerful units on the field for the Carbon team, and I guess a lot of that 26 is in their build queue and probably in Brutes. So the Carbon team will easily be able to hold this here, even though they lose the outpost here. They have plenty of units here to keep it neutral, or to knock it back down to neutral, and they will be able to you know, clear the blue unit attack here. And at this point, what can blue team do? They are pretty far behind. Sitta doing whatever he can. Going to try to neutralize the top, but will be responded to immediately by Samuelman. This will probably get neutralized because there are 3 brutes and a jumper over here. But I do not think they will be able to take and hold. There you go. They were able to kill 1 infantry. So the blue team will not be able to take this quite yet. And Sam's walking in for Lostcreep as well. Frank coming in just a little bit late with those 3 Sams and Longhorn, and will try to do whatever he can at mid, but does get taken down by, oh, the last hit was level 1 creep, but a majority of the damage was done by the Carbon mechs. So 13 to 30 units on the field right now. That is really insane for the blue team. There is pretty much nothing they can do except maybe hold out, maybe do some kind of weird side push. And this last outpost that the blue team has as you know, an advantage over the Carbon team, if you can even call it an advantage, is about to get neutralized. And there it is. The Carbon team successfully, you know, rolling through the blue team middle outpost. That was pretty much the move of the game, I would say. Sitta and Frank not able to hold the mid because Lostcreep decided to push those tanks back. A lot of AirMech players would have just held mid and turtle up as hard as possible no matter what. Even though they lost that back outpost, a lot of players would just kind of do nothing with those units. But definitely need to do, you know, to use your units if there is a place to use them, if there's a place to send them, you need to do it before it's too late. And that's pretty much what Lostcreep did with the units that he had sitting at mid, because if he just let Sitta and Frank, you know, bunker up and defend that left side outpost, this would be a very, very different game right now, because they would probably still have control of that left side. But Lostcreep basically, you know, was willing to risk, if you can even call it risk. It's not really that big of a risk, but in, you know, AirMech players' minds mentality, a lot of people think of it as a risk, but risk losing mid or losing control of mid by sending your protection away. You know, he was willing to do that, and it definitely paid off. So I would really like to see, you know, in the middle of this cast, I'm just going to let you guys know, because I know a lot of people don't stay to listen to my rants at the end, but you guys need to start, you know, making those moves and changing the AirMech metagame, because it's been so, you know, stagnant for such a long time. People would never want to make those moves. It's a lot more viable now because of follow command, and you know, strong mechs allow that as well. Or allow and prevent, actually. It's kind of a double-edged sword. But yeah, I really want to see people make those moves. So the Carbon team now moving into bottom. Oh, blue team was able to actually grab island, which is kind of crazy. But moving into bottom, and a lot of their units have been lost here. So it doesn't look like they... Okay, they're starting... You know, they have this, but they haven't used it at all. They might want to move these over to here and maybe start to ferry around. But it really depends on the you know, ability for the Carbon team to react, which they probably will be able to do pretty easily right now. And it broke. And it broke. And it broke. Of course it broke. Yeah, there you go. Chalk one up for BreakMech. Alright, guys. That was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty much decided. I'm pretty sure I know how that ended. But, yeah, I don't really... Oh, that's nonsense right there. But, I think we can assume as much that Samuelman and Lostcreep won that game. But, yeah, another BreakMech game for y'all to be disappointed with. I really hope this doesn't happen very much in future patches. So, much disappoint, sadness, caster woes. All the hashtags that you'd like. See you guys next time.